Okay, welcome to Critapocalypse. I'm Matt.
What episode is it?
Episode 4.
Well done.
And we've probably got 40 viewers.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, so between all three previous episodes.
Yes!
And across YouTube and SoundCloud.
That might be 40 different people,
Yeah.
which means we're quite good.
Famous now.
Almost.
The stars.
Yeah.
So, Critapocalypse episode 4, what we do is we review films, movies, games, anything we feel like reviewing. There might be a score, there might not be, who knows, who cares about scores anymore?
Yeah, numerical value is overdone.
Yeah, scores are dead, man. Let's review scores. 0.
I don't even want to justify it.
Yeah, not worth it. So, who did we decide was starting this week?
It's you.
Me. Right, okay. Well, I'm going to start with one thing that you've already covered because you know, get out of the way quick.
Yeah.
I'm not very far into it, but I'm doing Alien Isolation, and it's scaring me. And I don't do horror games because, like, I can deal with the intensity of a horror film. Like, friggin', there's bits in the eye and Tale of Two Sisters that creep me the shit out.
Oh, Tale of Two Sisters.
Yeah.
Did you see the remake?
No.
It has Elizabeth Banks in it, isn't it?
Yeah, what's it called?
I don't know.
It had a different name, didn't it? The
Elizabeth
Unturned.
Banks, the movie. She's so hot, Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, we'll get onto her later.
Yeah.
Maybe, if she's around. But yeah, I don't tend to do scary games because they unnerve me. It's too much hassle for my brain to cope with.
Visceral experience for you.
Yeah, it's sustained tension, and most of the time the thing doesn't help is that a lot of the time you get tense, so you don't move so much, so you keep getting more tense because you're not moving through the section.
No, you take it slow.
Yeah, and yeah, like that game, I've only got to the point where you have one encounter with the alien where it's unscripted, where it's the game plonking the alien down and you have to get away from its AI and all that.
Yeah.
And that's enough so far.
Have you got like flares and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the flares. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start distracting it. I was trying to get past it without distracting it, but I'm gonna have to rely on them, aren't I?
Yeah. You have to rely on a lot of stuff in that game.
Yeah, but
patience is probably one of the biggest things.
Well, I posted the video yesterday of me encountering it for the first time because I knew where their first encounter like that was.
Yeah.
So I uploaded it and
Link.
I lasted about 10 minutes, I think, before I spent most of it in a locker. But
yeah,
I think that's the best effective thing. But
yeah,
that game's like the mood and tone of it is perfect. It looks ridiculous on PC.
I'd assume so.
Yeah.
I'd assume so. It looked adequate on Xbox One.
Yeah, it looks brilliant. But the lighting especially, there's a bit where at the start where they're going to go across and they're in the spacesuits and they're in the airlock and all the lights are out and only lights are on their face on the spacesuits. It's perfect. And also little things, just me being a technical nerd, the bokeh effect, the blurring in the background image from the foreground and all this sort of stuff when it uses filmic lens effects. Like when you bring up the motion tracker and the background blurs and you can hold the trigger to blur the motion tracker and see it. All that sort of stuff. It's a bokeh. So
I call it that
blur.
Shot from Hitchcock films.
Hide the background, blur it all out.
Yeah.
But it's just early stuff like that. Just when you're walking around, all you can hear is the noise of spaceship debris smacking against the space station outside and weird things creaking and doors that aren't working making funny noises. It reminds me a lot of the first time I played Silent Hill and you had all those weird noises that were going on and eventually you'd realise that it's just something like a wheelchair wheel spinning around in an alleyway.
It's sad that I played Silent Hill fairly recently all the way through.
With the original?
Yeah. I had a tweet along a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
I had a tweet along and I took pictures. Silent Hill's a great game. Yeah. No, Alien Isolation. Yeah, I like it. It's it's long. So long.
Well, I'm only on chapter 5, and is it 16, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. I've got the Crew Expendable and the last
I've got those
thingy
as well.
ones, because they came with it.
Stuff.
But I don't know when I'll play them. I want to finish the game first, really.
Yeah.
Not that it's spoiling anything. Apparently one of them only lasts about 15 minutes.
I think both of them only last.
Really?
They're not very long.
Jeez, and they're charging like £3 for them, for anyone who didn't get them with the game.
Yeah, but say... Oh, yeah, no, I guess that is a lot more expensive than going to see a film.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's some things you can get that take 15 minutes, so £3.73 would be a good cost for it, but no. But
sloppy blowjob in the back of Yates.
Yeah, foamy latte from Starbucks.
Hand shandy from his spoon.
Yeah, same thing. But yeah, it's been ridiculously nice and atmospheric and dark, and those working Joes can die in a fire. They need to stop friggin' stalking me.
Oh fuck yeah, the robots. They were my favourite part, if I'm honest.
Horrifying. Like when you walk around a corner and there's
horrifying?
one just stood at the end of the corridor staring down, all you can see is he's silhouetted and you just see the red dots in his eyes. He's just like staring back at you. And then he's all like, "Can I help you?" And then he helps you by trying to strangle you. And he takes a lot of hits to kill.
Oh, you're playing on normal, aren't you? You can kill him. Oh shit! When you go on hard, you can't just kill him.
Yeah.
Because they can grab you. Like
they do that. Yeah,
they can grab you.
When you swing your crowbar thing, he grabs your arm, and you can't get out of that. You have to change methods.
You haven't got the stun baton yet, have you?
No. I've got EMPs. I can make them, but the one of the materials you need, you can only ever carry 3, but you need 2 to make it.
Oh yeah, you just keep your you keep putting them towards it, so you can carry more and more.
Yeah, I need to do that. But yeah, it's excellent so far. I'm really enjoying it. I really love the original Alien film. It's probably one of my favourite films of all time. Like, I freaking love that first film. It's
got two of my favourite actors in it.
See, it's to the degree where if I watch the director's cut version, which I watched a while back, for the first time, because I put off watching that for years. I had the DVD for about 6-7 years before I watched it.
Yeah.
The director's cut version irks me because the pacing's too fast on the edits.
Yeah.
Individual edits, I recognise where the cut-off point should be in the original version, and they go like second or so early, or fraction of a second, or there's certain takes which are different in the film. You used alternate takes in certain parts.
Okay.
And it bugs me that there's some types like things change. That's how much I love the original film. I notice when there's an edit slightly wrong.
Yeah.
But this is like doing a really good job of replicating the style of the film. I think if you want something that's a bit more sort of actiony, don't play Alien Rings. Don't play that.
Go and buy Halo or something
like
that.
Get Alien Resurrection for the PS1. That game was terrifying, and it still had guns and stuff in it.
Pink army boots are acid proof. That was the code to unlock all the levels.
Yeah.
Shit, I used to play that when I was a kid.
Alien Resurrection is a great game. I thought I had a copy, but I can't find it. It was something we were going to play on the channel.
Alien Trilogy.
Oh, Alien Trilogy, yeah. I've got that on Sega Saturn.
I never played Alien Resurrection.
Alien Resurrection's horrifying, man.
Is it 3D? Because I remember they were releasing a 3D.
It was originally going to be a top-down sort of twin-stick shooter thing.
Okay.
But one of the art designers was like, let's see what happens if we put it in a first-person view, and it worked. So they just reworked the game into a first-person view and turned it into a horror game. And it's it's long before all the other horror games were around where survival horror was actually a scary thing. It was back in the days when survival horror was like a really dumb thing. It was still Alone in the Dark days.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. But this was done...
No, it was 99, which was after Resident Evil.
Yeah, but Resident Evil was still Alone in the Darkish. It was still very much, you can see everything, and it's...
Choose the next words carefully. Let's not mock Resident Evil. It's one of the greatest games ever made.
You know what I mean? It's still the very sort of one where it's all very controlled, but this one was you'd walk down into a room and you'd just suddenly see some legs disappear into an air vent, and there's a weird scuttling noise. Or you walk in and just see dead bodies everywhere. And for the PS1 day, it looked really good for a PS1 game. It looks a lot better than Alien Trilogy.
Do you remember the dinosaur demo you used to get on the PS1?
Yeah. Yeah, the best looking thing ever.
When I used to think about that, I used to be like, oh, that was like a real dinosaur. And then I went back and used it. And I was like, it looks so bad.
Bits of its neck are poking through the body and stuff like that.
There's no clipping, so its arms go through it. So.
The aliens in Resurrection are they're a series of tubes, like the internet in some ways. But yeah, Alien Isolation, I'm going to say as a random score for it, let's give it a C. I don't know if the C's good or bad.
I'll give it a D+.
Yeah, I'd give it the D.
Let's know what. All right,
you're next.
I am next. I'm going to go with possibly the best known thing that's on my list right now. This is something I have to talk about this week. I watched Deadly Spawn, which is the Arrow film release of a 1986 movie, much in the vein of Gremlins.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go into a lot of detail here. I'm probably going to spoil little bits here and there, but I won't spoil the ending because it's fucking fantastic. But anyway, Deadly Spawn starts out like any other film. There's a meteor that flies down towards the Earth, sparks fly, people collide, whatever the fuck happens.
That happened a lot in the 80s, man.
All the time.
Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, what a great film! Anyway, that's besides the point. So, anyway, so this meteor flies down, and out of the meteor crawl these sliver-style little worms, which are quite nicely done effects-wise. And they crawl out and they go and they find places that are moist and not vaginas. Don't say vaginas.
No, I'm thinking sewers, man. That would be a logical place.
Basement, it appears to be. And this one kid's he's into monsters and shit like that. There's always that one kid. There's no jazzy soundtrack or any shit like that. So don't imagine the Goonies or Monster Squad. I was
imagining Monster Squad mixed with slugs. No.
Yeah, none of that. It's almost like one of those Italian films that's been translated over to America.
Nice.
So this kid's, he's into monsters, and he does this little flash trick, and he's like, "Wah!" And his mum's just like, "Look, take off your clothes that you're wearing, go put something neat on, come down for breakfast. Breakfast is ready!" And it's this nice little family dynamic, and the kid goes downstairs. Later on in the film, the kid comes home from school, and his mum's not there, his dad's not there, no one's home. His mum turns out it's a dinner party. So this kid comes home from school, and his mum's not home, so he finds this letter that says, "Oh, the electrician, go down into the basement, the back door's unlocked, you can get into the basement, we know you, Barry. Go and sort out the electrics, there's been issues." Kid goes down into the basement to go see if the electrician's there, because apparently it's someone that knows the family. Barry. Everyone knows Barry.
Yeah.
So he goes down to the basement, and lo and behold, there's this fucking massive slug. Like, this massive deadly spawn slug. It's got like a massive jawry mouth. The mouth's really nicely designed. It's got 2 little flaps at the bottom and one big articulated top bit, and a bunch of teeth that run into the back like a shark.
Yeah.
Alright, so this thing's down in the water, squiggling away, like, and the kid's down there and he freezes, and he looks around and he realises that the monster can only hear him. It can't see him. Alright, so the kid's standing in this like slightly high pool of water where it's all wet down there, it's all flooded, and that's why the electricity's fucked. And he's standing in this pool of water looking around, and it's a nice touch because you don't get characters do this. Usually they shit themselves and fuck off out the room. This kid stands there and he's looking around, so he's working out what can he see, what can he do, what does he know. And there's one slug that's bitten into a wire, it's died, it's hanging there burnt and crispy. There's another one that's trapped in a mouse trap, so he's like, alright, they don't like electricity and they don't fucking like mouse traps. So that's 2 ways to kill the big one. And he's fucking just sitting there and he's watching all the shit and he's taking it all in. And he drops something, and it makes the big one go a bit mad. And he stoically stays there, and he's like watching. He's like, "Oh, you think you fucking got me?" Because I dropped something. Fuck you. Eventually, time comes where he gets the opportunity to leave the basement. As he leaves the basement, upstairs there's a bunch of teenagers. I think it's his brother, his brother's girlfriend, his brother's friend, and then his girlfriend. And they're all in the house chatting away. The brother's friend and his girlfriend, they get split up because the monster comes upstairs. It follows the boy. It comes upstairs. And it chases them all about the house. The brother and his girlfriend end up in his bedroom, and the brother's friend and his girlfriend end up upstairs in the loft. And the kid is left to his own devices. We don't find him for another 10 minutes. All of a sudden, this monster bursts into the room that's got his brother and his girlfriend. And this guy, in something that I've not seen in a film in a very long time, the brother's girlfriend gets her head torn completely asunder straight away.
Nice.
Just gets it ripped off, and she gets thrown out a fucking window. The brother decides, like, oh, fuck, my life has ended. My girlfriend, I'm only 16, but my girlfriend, my love of my life, which literally only been 16 years, so it's probably right, has died. What am I going to do? No! I must be heroic in this. So he climbs out the window and fucks off up to the loft. We don't see them for another 5 minutes. Cuts to the mum. The mum's at a dinner party. All these old ladies are chatting away. She's like, oh, I've got to ring the kid. I've got to go and talk. It's not English. It's American, so I imagine this is an American accent. I've got to go talk to my son and find out if he's all right. She goes and uses the phone, talks to her son.
Ring your son, little bastard.
Hello, are you clean? You fuck. And then
He's not a messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Great Monty Python reference. Anyway, she puts the fucking phone down and she goes back to the dinner party. And in probably one of the greatest scenes I've ever seen, 4 old women writhing on the ground in agony as these tiny little slugs bite at their face and at their limbs. And the woman comes in, she grabs like a fucking letter, you know, like the thing that you put receipts on. Grabs one and just starts jabbing at these alien monsters to get them off these people. She's like, oh, fuck off, get off. Just goes hard at these things. One gets stuck on it, so she throws it away. It hits a painting, and as the painting falls down, it reveals 7 more slugs on the wall wiggling away. Nice. It's like you've disturbed another nest. So she tries to save all these old ladies. She gets them out of the house, she gets all the slugs off, and they fuck off down the road to go to her son's house to see if her son's alright. We cut back, and everyone's now in the loft, including the brother. So it's the brother, the brother's friend, the girlfriend. All in the loft. The massive one's in there, it's got him pinned, it's trying to get him. Who comes and saves the day? The kid. He's got his phosphorus powder that he used to make that little flashbang at the beginning to try and scare his mum. He's got that. He's shoved that into the end of what I think is a hairdryer, right? And broken the hairdryer up, put a little bit of water in the hairdryer and just mashed it all together in some sort of makeshift grenade, right? And he puts it into the mouth of the monster. He's being really quiet whilst he does this. The monster starts chewing away. And he gets the cord, he looks at it, and he looks to the wall and there's a socket and it's just too far. So what does he do? He moves his t-shirt aside and there is an extension lead he's got wrapped around like a fucking utility belt. Plugs it in, goes to the wall, it's still just too short, so what does he do? He remembers sound and starts banging on the floor to get the monster to go towards him so he can plug it in and blow the fuck out of it. It's amazing! It was so well written. It's such a cheap, weird 80s film, but everything in it is cohesive and it makes sense. They set it up and that ending was fucking spectacular. I cheered. I was so jubilant at this little kid, because usually fucking kids are like, oh, fuck that kid. Yeah, he's stupid. There's no monster. Oh, there's a monster! But in this, he just fucking went, right, A to B, monster's C, I need a grenade, grenade's going to be B, and now I'm going to get to D by blowing the fuck out the monster. B plus C equals home safe D. It was amazing. It was just brilliant. It's exceptional. Thank you, Arrow Films, for making that possible, because I have not watched a film in recent years where there's actually a setup and an end. It's like a comedy. I haven't seen a comedy in a long time that has jokes that have a setup and then a punchline. It doesn't exist anymore. And
No, nowadays it's all just punchline.
You know, like at the end, it's like all of a sudden Superman has the ability to turn back time by kissing his girlfriend with his date rape power.
He had that
Even then, that's just like something that appears out of nowhere. He's never used that before. He's never shown that he has that power.
Yeah.
And so often now, it's like, oh, that Iron Man, the laser in Iron Man 2 that can kill everything. And it's like, oh, you can only use it once. And I didn't tell anyone about it before because it didn't seem like it was a useful thing. Of course, that's fucking useful. There's a million different situations you could use that. But no, it was brilliant. It was all set up. Everything that you needed to know was known. Oh, it was excellent. I was so happy. Like, just seeing, it's like, you know when people reminisce about the past and nostalgia?
Yeah.
And there's that warm little nook they have where they're like, oh, you remember films in my day were great. If that was your day, and Deadly Spawn is the film you're talking about, you're right. But if you're talking about the Goonies, where all of a sudden, you know, people have, like, Data himself is literally Deus Ex Machina. Like, he can just do whatever is needed for the situation. There was none of that.
Asian MacGyver, man.
MacGyver himself, it was the same situation. But it's excellent. If you get the chance, I know that I've ruined it a little bit for you.
Deadly Spawn is a prequel to MacGyver.
It's MacGyver the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to catch it, I think it's £3 on Amazon in the UK now. I don't know how much it is in America. If it's $1 billion and you have that money, it's worth paying to see this film because it is just so lovingly crafted in a way that you just don't find anymore. It's a small trip to a simpler time that wasn't as simple as it seems first. You know, it's like the kid from what is the film with Bruce Willis where the kid's really good at math?
The Kid?
No, what is the one? Event something? It's not Event Horizon. It's I can't remember, but there's a film in which the autistic kid knows math and it knows the code. Yeah, shit like that. You just don't, you know, it's
was that during Bruce Willis's period when no one gave a shit what film he was in?
No, it was probably during the period Bruce Willis didn't give a shit what film he was
Yeah, that same
in.
period.
But yeah, no, fantastic film. Deadly Spawn. Just buy it. Just watch it because it's just brilliant. It's great.
Yay. Right. What am I going to review next?
Did I take too long with that?
No, you can take as long as you like. That's the beauty of this. I'm the one who has to edit it. Right. I'm going to review another thing that's been around for a while because, you know, it's best to get them out of the way early. So I decided this week to watch Hunger Games Catching Fire. I quite like the first film.
Yeah.
It's like, it is a... No matter what she said, she ripped off Battle Royale.
Yeah, definitely.
She knew, man. There's too much.
Some
she thought she could get away with it.
Don't they?
Yeah. The individual incidents and the freaking bags with random things in it. Random weapons. Like, it's blatantly she knew about about Battle Royale and probably thought she could get away with it. But regardless, I quite enjoyed the first one. It had its own thing going on anyway, so that's fine. But I was going to watch Catching Fire and then maybe go see Mockingjay Part 1, like, just to keep up to date on them and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the continued adventures of Plutarch Honeysbee before he dies. Philip Seymour Hoffman, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
It was the stupidest fucking name that's ever been put into a film.
It was in the book as well.
Yeah.
I've read the books. That's
You're not a girl.
I know, right?
No. But,
I do have a Kindle, though.
Catching Fire's put me way off bothering to watch the new next ones. It's kind of... Nothing really feels like anything happens in it. At all. She doesn't have an arc. There's no leadership path she goes on. She doesn't learn to lead a rebellion or anything, or accept the idea of leading a rebellion. By the end of the film, she's in the same place she was earlier. In fact, she's a little bit set back because she's pissed off that they didn't save Peter instead of her. Like, and why is Peter's name spelt funny?
I don't know.
Why is it Joanna's the only one who's got a normal name? The one played by Jenna Malone.
Jenna Malone is hot in that film.
Sorry, most films.
I didn't like her in... My mind has gone to shit.
She's in one of the Twilight films, isn't she?
She is. But she was also in...
More than...
Fuck, what was that awful film done by Zack Snyder?
Oh, Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Fuck, she...
Awful film.
Although Vanessa Hudgens.
There's no redeeming qualities in that film.
Vanessa Hudgens is a redeeming
She's not a redeeming quality.
I watched High School Musical for Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah, Catching Fire didn't feel like much of anything had happened, and it's literally split in half. Like, I swear they timed the exact point where they're halfway through the film to start the games. Like,
I didn't understand why there was so much setup to that, because a lot of it was just...
There wasn't much going on in the games either. They went, oh, it's a clock, and then he goes, I'm going to press a button and spin it, so you don't know where it's coming from next. Like,
yeah, I didn't really get that, because I kept thinking to myself, what does it matter?
No.
Like, just look at where it's pointing now. You're on a specific beach. Remember where the country was pointing before, and then just now
such elaborate tracks as well. I like how they didn't have any weird monster dog things like they did at the end of the last one, because that was like a bit of a shit the bed moment in the first film.
Right in the books as well.
Yeah, but it's still stupid.
Yeah, in the books they were DNA of the people that died.
Oh, didn't they have their faces, didn't they?
Yeah.
In the books? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
That'd have been cool.
It would look like that freaking Basement Jaxx video.
Where's your... That
Yeah.
was a great song.
But, yeah, I don't know what to think about this one. It's like, it wasn't poorly shot. The guy who directed it, I can't remember his name now, but he's a very workman. He did I Am Legend and all that.
Will Smith?
No, they got you to do it. Will Smith may be a Will Smith film because he's an auteur, but
What's his auteur trick?
Auteur theory, man. So yeah, Will Smith. There is an overriding. Every Will Smith film has Will Smith elements. Will Smith is the most important thing in a Will Smith film.
Yeah, like what is his auteur trick though? Because each auteur trick has each auteur has as a director, Sam Raimi is quite kinetic, and Steven Spielberg it's always the boy's journey. So what would be the auteur trick for
Will Smith's thing? Being a black leading man.
Does he have to say damn? He's the ones in the film.
Or hell no.
Hell no.
Or hell no.
Damn.
Welcome to Earth.
Oh hell no.
I want to see a film that he does right where the entire film is basically an elaborate recreation of the intro from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And it doesn't mention it. It's played straight, and there's no reference, but the entire thing follows exactly the steps of the intro, the title song for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
The guy who played Uncle Phil died, didn't he?
Yeah, Shredder, wasn't he? He was Shredder in the original Turtles cartoon.
Because I was just thinking, you could at the end have it like a little bit weird and have him like open the door and be like,
Uncle Phil,
yeah,
you've been
you
my
could
real
probably,
dad.
Like we were talking about the technology for what is it, for holograms.
Oh yeah,
Could always just get a hologram of Uncle Phil.
yeah, hologram Uncle Phil. No one knows. Don't mention it in the show. Just the big blue glowing hologram of Uncle Phil. That'd be fine.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
glowing. Oh yeah, because it's just this light, isn't it? It's projected light.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Everyone looks like a fucking ghost.
Yeah, it only really works if you look for the right angle. But
it's really morbid if someone's alive and they've got a hologram on them. They do just look like a ghost.
But yeah, I don't know what to make of Catching Fire though. It was dull. It felt like it was unnecessary. Like the whole thing was the whole purpose of the entire film was to have them go, oh, there's a secret rebellion.
Now you know how I feel about the Hobbit movies.
Yeah. Why are they 3 films?
I don't fucking know. Like it's just who decided that would be a good idea? But...
Peter Jackson, he wanted money. Trilogy sell. I'm amazed the last part's not been split into 2 films. Seriously amazed.
Like, I don't understand why the third book in the Hunger Games trilogy has been split into 2.
Apparently it's really short in narrative as well.
Yeah,
like, not much actually happens.
It's just like there's like a few battles.
The only ones I'm giving an exception to, because I'm a Marvel fanboy, but the Avengers Part 3 being 2 parts, the third film being 2 separate films.
Yeah, but we've already set
there's
up
2 in between that, isn't there?
Okay, like, we'll have a little bit of a segue here. We'll just have like 5 minutes to discuss this.
Not that we ever do, but...
Yeah, we don't ever go off topic.
No.
We're quite stringent with our topics.
No.
When it comes to the Avengers, what would you like it to be in 2 films? So what would your ideal
I want
situation
the
be?
first part to effectively set up whatever narrative thread runs through those 2 films that are in between it. Because is it Inhumans and Captain Marvel? I think they are going to be in between Avengers Part 1 and 2.
Are they?
Yeah. So,
okay.
So they're both intergalactic themed anyway. Captain Marvel can be anyway if they want it to be. Although I think Captain Marvel's going to be a bit retro. That logo is so 80s. Like,
yeah, is it going to be a woman?
Yeah.
It's going to be a woman.
Yeah, it's going to be Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel.
Oh, it's going to be Carol Danvers?
Yeah.
Oh, have you seen the new Miss Marvel? The Indian girl?
Yeah. Really good comics, those ones.
I haven't read them. I bought one.
Yeah.
It's not for me, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Well, you got to check they work.
Yeah.
Read it. But I reckon I'm okay with that because it's going to be basically like a mini saga anyway. That they're going to be stuff in between it. It's going to be like a little mini.
I would like there to be individual narratives.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
Want
it probably will be. But I think whatever goes on in Inhumans will affect stuff that whatever happens in the first Avengers Part 1 will affect what's going on in Inhumans, and then it'll move on to the other one. But it'll be their own separate stories. But there'll be effects like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's all about getting that crystal thing.
I'll watch that again.
Such a good film.
It's a great film.
Fucking fantastic.
It is a really good film.
But yeah, just gonna Catching Fire anyway. Meh out of 10.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it very high rating. I'm not a fan. I watched it and I just kept going, what is the point in you?
I was bored, man.
Yeah, I was bored for a lot of it. Like it was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Just nothing happens.
Yeah, it happened in another one as well, where cause I think sure it happens in the first one, where they have some sort of injury or
they set up the
infection,
universe,
which affects them visibly, but then they get rid of it, like because she puts her hands in the water and gets rid of the blisters.
The water
and the previous
blisters,
one had the wasp stings that they cured themselves of.
Yeah,
really quickly.
Yeah.
Why? Because you can't have Jennifer Thingy wandering around with blisters on her face. That was bizarre. Anyway.
It's just, it's a really bizarre film. Okay, my number 3 is... I would just like them to make the Avengers Infinity Crisis. I'd like one half to be on Earth and the other half to be galactic.
Yeah.
And I would like the Inhumans and the Miss Marvel film. I would like those to be... they fight an enemy that somehow challenges their society.
Yeah.
But then that fits into the overarching. So there might be like generals of Thanos. Because there's people like Ronan the Accuser was originally... He was a separate character. They could draw in more of those galactic characters and have people like the Kree warlords and people like that.
Can they have the Kree? Oh, it's a scroll they can't
It's
have,
the
isn't
scroll. Yeah, the scrolls.
Yeah. Did you hear about Fantastic Four and what's going on with the villain?
No.
Doom is going to be not Victor Von Doom.
He's that dude on the internet. Oh, fuck it.
No, he's a hacker.
We're not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to talk about it because it's stupid. As much as I'm going to give them my money and watch the film, I don't want to know anything beforehand now. Like, I've given up on Sony having...
You've heard enough that's bad. It's not Sony, it's Fox, isn't it? Worse. Yeah, Fox are doing Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah, shit, they are. Just who gives a fuck about this? Anyway, my next is Constantine, the TV series.
No, not seen it yet.
Have you not? I've seen episodes 1, 2 and 3.
What is it on?
And 4. It's on Amazon.
Oh.
Amazon...
Screw that.
Yeah. Well, if you've got Prime, you get it for free anyway. But anyway, yeah, it's on Amazon. 1, 2, 3, 4. When it comes to Constantine, everybody knows who he is. He's the Exorcist, who is part of the DC canon. He fights supernatural entities, much like Doctor Strange in our universe. Or to a more racist note, the Marvel's 50s comic Doctor Voodoo.
Yeah.
The black-coded Voodoo. It's a bit racist. He recently became the Sorcerer Supreme. That's another thing. It's a whole other thing. Let's ignore that. Ignore that for now. Constantine, he is a sorcerer, he's an exorcist, he's, the ghost with the most, whatever. In terms of what he does in the series, it's very similar to the comics. They recently did a storyline from the comics.
Yeah.
Feast of Friends, which is about the demon that eats you from the inside, but it forces you to exhibit massive hunger. So it takes over your body and then you just ravenously eat shit. Okay.
Eat shit and die.
Yeah. No, that's what I plan to do in my life.
Yeah.
But basically, it makes you eat until you die, and this guy finds it. He's like a protege of Constantine from the past, and he finds it, and he exorcises it. But it turns out that this thing is just this vicious creature that won't be contained.
Yeah.
So there's no way of avoiding it succumbing or getting into people and them succumbing to the hunger. In terms of what the series does as opposed to the film was American. Obviously, had Keanu Reeves. It was quite a prolific thing because a lot of people were unhappy that it was an American playing Constantine.
Gavin Rossdale was in it as well. And Sheila Booth.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Shia the Beef.
Twice.
That's besides the point. Let's get on from that. I don't like the Constantine film, the original film, it's fine, it just shouldn't have been Constantine. It could have been anything else.
Yeah.
It could have just been a generic shooty film and I would have probably enjoyed it more because it didn't have the stigma of being part of the Hellblazer canon. The series follows the comics a lot more. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's, if you watch Supernatural, it's almost the same. The difference
better than
is...
Gotham's going so far.
What's Gotham?
Gotham is, yeah.
I can't be fucked with a program about Batman before Batman.
Bruce Wayne in there is pretty much at the age of 10 fully determined to be Batman pretty much already. He's all... Every single episode... There's only one room in Wayne Manor as far as I can tell.
And he just stands there and looks at it.
And he's constantly just researching documents and having sword fights with Alfred.
It's fucking stupid. But no, I'm not interested in that shit. Constantine's fine. It's a good program. If you watch Supernatural, fill the gap between Supernatural series and whatever series it's on that you like watching. I mean, alongside things like The Walking Dead, which has been excellent so far, and other programs that are available to you, I probably wouldn't recommend it over something that you truly enjoy. But it's a nice little time waster if you've got spare 40 minutes a week. Give it a watch.
Isn't one of the girls who are in it, she's had to be written out like really early in the series?
Yeah, the woman from the pilot. Woman from the pilot's gone.
Yeah, because they're bringing another cat, aren't they?
Creative decisions.
Yeah.
Because she essentially had the same powers as Constantine from the film.
Yeah.
So I think it was a bad idea to have her in anyway.
Is he a bastard in it? That's what matters.
He's a bit of a bastard.
He needs to be a total bastard.
He's a bit of a bastard. He's meant to be from Glasgow, but he's got like... He talks like this.
He should have a Liverpudlian accent.
He talks like this all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, hello, love.
Well, the Americans don't know the difference.
No, they don't care.
No. It would be nice if they called it Hellblazer.
It would be nice if they called it Hellblazer, but then Hellblazer wasn't the character.
No, but that's the name of the comic.
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if these people would exist in the same universe? So the Flash, Constantine.
There's no reason why they couldn't, though, could they? Like they could have thingy. Because that's one thing I wanted with Gotham. I wanted it to be set in the 90s or 80s or something, and make out they could just tangibly say it is linked to Arrow and Flash. but it's set like 30 years before, 20 years before something.
As much as I'd say it was difficult to do a Flash program, it's easier to do a Flash program than it would be to do a Batman program.
Oh yeah, Batman's freaking...
Unless you brought in the creative team from Batman the Animated Series and you gave them the unlimited budget they'd require to make that a thing, you're not going to get it.
The thing is, you can't have a young Batman either. Batman doesn't work if he's in his early 20s, which is what they always pitch those shows for. He can't be the sexy guy taking his shirt off. That's the one version of Batman that doesn't exist.
Yeah, because Batman can't reveal his identity.
Well, he can't be like... Yeah, can you imagine that if they did a TV series of Batman, he'd have be like Arrow, and he's got like 500 people who know who he is.
He's got a staff.
Everyone knows who Arrow is now. But the only person who doesn't is the police detective.
Why did he shave his head?
Well, the detective?
Yeah,
to look ill.
So weird.
Because he's ill, isn't he?
So
he has to have a shaved head.
What's wrong with him? I thought he just got shot
He
through
had
the chest.
broken rib, didn't he? But he's having angina attacks and stuff. That's why he's got the medication.
Oh.
But
I missed that.
Yeah, that was that, because at the end of the series 2, he collapses. After Sarah goes away.
Oh, I couldn't kill
He coughs up some blood.
I couldn't kill us.
But yeah, so I want to see Constantine, but it's on Amazon, so screw that. Because they fucked up Love Film. No end.
It was the same thing.
Yeah, but they got rid of the game. I couldn't rent games from them anymore.
Did you use Boomerang?
What Boomerang? Nah, some little scabby company, isn't it?
No, they're alright.
Yeah.
I use them.
Hassle. But yeah.
Yeah, it's worth watching. Like I said, it doesn't replace anything that you truly love. If there's a series you enjoy, and also it's not going to be something for the people that enjoy Geordie Shore more than they enjoy things like The Walking Dead. It is a weekly hour of your life gone, and there's going to be no screaming retards. So
if you want a Glaswegian action without fake tans and
yeah, and if you want
horror,
if you want something that's got a plot,
yeah,
and doesn't involve people trying to
less horrific and
trying to mate with one another whilst covered in spray tan and drinking copious amounts of alcohol pops, then yeah, watch Constantine.
Yeah, I want to see that. There's a Preacher next year, isn't there?
Holy shit! Yeah, I love Preacher.
Yeah, that'll be
Preacher's
interesting.
one of the best series ever. Preacher, like of all the comics that I read, Powers, Preacher, and
Powers is coming as well.
Why the Last Man? Yeah, Powers is coming as well. Why the Last Man? If they make a Why the Last Man series, that'd be
perfect.
But if they ruined it and it doesn't have that emotional ending, I'm not a man who gets upset easily. But the ending of Why the Last Man,
no, this could completely different.
It affected me.
Change it.
Yeah, they just make it so it's just like he's a misogynist. Ladies.
He literally doesn't see other men. He just sees women.
Yeah,
the men haven't died. It's just
he's
his imagination.
Really arrogant. Yeah. But yeah, no, Constantine, that's alright.
Right. My next thing, let's see, Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I love that game.
I brought this game because I got really fed up one evening, and when I get fed up I spend money. And I shouldn't have spent money. But I bought Shovel Knight like full price. I've been waiting weeks for it to go into a sale. And in the end I was just like, screw it, and just bought it anyway.
It's like £12 on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's $10.49 on PC generally. I think it's $9.49 on good old games.
Wasn't it like £7 on Humble Bundle?
Yeah, it's been like in all sorts of sales, but I always miss them. But this game's friggin' excellent. Like it's a throwback to NES era, like a lot of those ones. It's not possible on a NES, but whatever. It just has that
two
feel.
colours shy.
Yeah, it's a couple of colours that they've cheated with.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you're talking about parallax scrolling effects and.
There isn't any.
Oh, there is. It's parallax scrolling on loads of the levels, man.
I've not played past the first couple of levels.
Oh, once you get to Propeller Knight's level, man.
Oh, there's a Propeller Knight.
Yeah, Propeller Knight's awesome. You're on an airship, and there's sections where wind is blowing in all sorts of different directions, and that bit can fucking burn in hell.
That does sound
there's a slippy, slidey ice world as well. I've actually found the later bosses easier than a lot of the earlier bosses.
I like the dragon thing you fight first.
Yeah, that's nice and easy. You get that again. There's two of them in there early on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you fight one in the second half of that level.
Oh, yeah, so you do, yeah.
But the best knight's Tinker Knight. You wait till you see Tinker Knight. Tinker Knight's an incredible boss.
So it's just like Mega Man.
Yeah, it's got a lot of that. It's not like Mega Man in the sense that you don't gain any skills from the bosses, which is kind of surprising, because I think that would be how you should gain the new skills. Because a lot of the bonus weapons you get have a little something to do with other knights. Like you get a gear, which would have been a perfect thing to give for Tinker Knight. It's a gear that you drop it on the ground, you can ride long spikes on it, and when it hits a wall, it sort of jumps up a little bit higher onto the wall so you can get to a higher ledge.
Oh, okay.
So that's quite a smart little gift. There's a horn you get as well, which is like a smart bomb attack. But sort of, it's got a radius, but it kills anything nearby you instantly. But it's a bit of a pain because it takes a second to use before it fires off. But it's brilliant. I'm loving the game. It's so tight. Like I struggled with it at first because I thought to do the downward strike, you have to swipe the weapon first, then pull down.
No,
you don't. You just hold down and it's automatic. But
like DuckTales.
Yeah, DuckTales. That's a great game. That remake of DuckTales was solid as hell. Man.
I didn't play the remake. I just played the original.
It's good. But
it's like that Castle of Illusion. I played 5 minutes of the Castle of Illusion remake. I was like, oh fuck, this isn't my game.
Yeah,
I went back and played Castle of Illusion.
Yeah, they messed with it a lot on that one. That's not as good. But Shovel Knight's like spot on perfect. It's so tight controls and friggin' like the level of difficulty is such that it's frustrating, but it's not so frustrating that you blame the game. It's your own incompetence. But there's always a clear path. Yeah, there's always a clear path of what is the problem in the level that you need to defeat. You rarely go into a situation where you can't sit somewhere and watch the enemies do their attacks before you attack, which is the Mega Man formula.
Yeah.
Like if you know Mega Man, when the first time you see pretty much any enemy in the early Mega Man games, they got rid of this later on. It stopped happening. They started trying to cheap you out on kills.
Yeah.
But you'd always see the enemy in a specific situation where it could fire its weapon and you wouldn't be able to get hit by it.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to see how it would attack and you could approach it. And Shovel Knight does that all the time.
Yeah.
It's always something. I think the best bad guy in Shovel Knight is the little rat hanging from the propeller.
Oh, they look like the balloon ones.
Yeah, no, there's a little propeller, just a rat hanging from it.
Yeah.
And it just goes, every now and again it moves towards you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to kill them. They look sad, because when you kill them they fall off and they just
go away.
plummet to their doom. But this game's spot on. Like, I'm right near the end of it. I've just got to do the Enchantress bit. When you beat the boss at the end of the game, there's a new game plus you can run through, so you can try and bump up.
Do you ever get to play Shield Knight?
Shield Knight, that's important. That's spoilers, man. Can't get into spoilers.
But like in the very first 5 seconds of the game, Shovel Knight and Shield Knight are best friends.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to play Shield Knight?
Maybe.
Oh.
Do you know what they're doing as a download for it soon?
What?
Gender swap. You'll be able to swap the genders of all the characters in the game. So you can turn them male and female. And, this is the really cool thing, you can change the pronouns individually, apparently. So while you could have a character be female, you could have them announced as a male as well. So you could fill your game with transgender knights.
Why is that something you need to do?
It's kind of genius, because they don't, hey, do you want... It's their answer to the whole, like, making the game equal and all this sort of stuff and open for everyone.
But a knight in general, like, your knight isn't a male or a female. You don't ever need to know that.
No. You don't necessarily know if Shovel Knight's a male or female.
Yeah, but you fight, like, Propeller Knight. Is that a guy?
You can. Propeller Knight? Yeah, that's a dude.
Alright, there's some of them female. Yes.
Well, one of them's got a massive beard. They're sort of... You don't see their faces most of the time. But,
so most of the time it's just called knight and then they.
Yeah, but they're going to let you gender swap the sprites and all this sort of stuff.
Who cares? So. Like, I wouldn't care about that. Like, I'd spend time making an extra, like, couple of bonus levels for someone.
I think the game's got enough content already.
No.
See the amount of cheats it's got?
Yeah, but add in
300 some odd cheats, man.
Like, especially because these guys are they've crafted the game spectacularly. I mean, I would never naysay the game, but when you're trying to sort of appease people that want transgender knights who already aren't gender specific in every situation, but
now you've got the option to make them specific.
But why does that need to be something that it's like it's mind blowing to me that that's something.
It's just something for fun. You can have
fun.
You can have a lady Shovel Knight.
It's like sprite. Like, she might be a lady anyway.
No, it would be a different sprite.
Yeah, but what would be the difference? It gives it tits, because that would be...
I reckon it'll be a ponytail.
But the problem is that, like...
like in Rogue Legacy.
have you ever like, listened to what feminists say about, like, armour in films where they've got, like, bosoms?
Yeah, which is dangerous.
It'd be pointless, because it would just weaken the armour.
It'd guide the sword directly to your heart.
Like, it's stuff like that where females have said, specifically, that something is... in an intelligent way, and they've made their argument. Feminists are great like that often. Sometimes they are batshit insane, just like there are people that are batshit idiots in every situation.
Yeah.
But when someone makes that point, and when someone makes that point, and then they turn around and they say, "Oh, we're going to make it female sprites," and they just give a tits, I just be like, "Well, that's more sexist than not giving us a female sprite."
No, I think they're just tweaking the sprites a little bit. But
if there's tits, I'm going up in arms. I'm calling to arms against Shovel Knight. I love that game, and don't make me hurt you.
No, there's only 2 characters in the game which are very much drawn to be male or female, and this one's the Ice Knight, because he's got a massive, great big beard, and the Enchantress. Like, I suppose other than townfolk and things like that.
Yeah.
But no, I want to play that because it's going to be silly. Just like...
Yeah, but it won't add anything to the game.
You can make it into a giant lesbian adventure.
See, then again, you're being like, that's objectifying lesbians by making them out of situations where they don't need to be. Like, it's not even objectifying them, that's the wrong word to pick. But, it's not a viable option of entertainment for most people.
What if you just want to turn it into a big gay sausage fest?
It doesn't matter.
That'd be fantastic.
The game doesn't matter anyway. You could turn anything into a sausage fest by just misinterpreting the sentences on the screen. You wouldn't need to switch it in.
But now you've got the sausage fest.
If you want a sausage fest, buy some sausage. Don't go through the different...
No, you can buy, what's that point-and-click adventure game? I can't remember what it's called.
Day of the Tentacle.
No. There's a point-and-click adventure game. It's like the most... It's so gay. like in the right sense of the word, in the proper sense of the word, not in a negative sense. It's
so homosexual.
Like, yeah, when you go to use the lift, the camera focuses on your guy's arse as he's wearing spandex shorts that are like a little bit too short.
That's just sexy.
Yeah, I know.
but no, like, I mean, you know my point. Like, a homosexual wouldn't come along and say to you, "Oh, I need a game where I can just look at guys' asses the whole time," because it's a digital thing. Yeah. It's just like, you know, when people say that objectifying women in games, like you're having women in games and they're like, you're sexualizing them by putting them in these scantily clothes. You're not, because it's a combination of sprites and pixels. It isn't anything that anyone should find attractive. If there are people that are wrong, then there's an issue there. But it's not something where it's not even a sex of thing, because it's just this creation. It's not something real. It doesn't have gender because it doesn't have the ability to procreate. It doesn't have gender specific genitalia because that's just not there. Although you could say it has the outline of having, say, one particular it doesn't matter, because unless the clothes are off and you can see it's got a vagina or a penis, it just doesn't matter. You're arguing their points are just... Lara Croft was fully clothed in the new Tomb Raider and somehow she was objectifying women. Where is the argument there? Because someone wants to have sex with her. He's a villain. He wants to do villainous things. If ever you read the comic Wanted, the original comic, villains do horrible fucking things. They talk about it as if it's nothing. There are people mention rape, murder, you know, defecation of corpses. They do these horrible, horrible things and talk about it with total disregard. And they do that because they're evil. It's the easiest way to make someone evil, is to make them do despicable things.
Gone off tangent again, man.
I've gone off tangent because I'm angry. Like, I hate people saying that people are objectifying women by saying, I understand. Dead or Alive beach volleyball is the most stupid gentrification thing ever. It's ridiculous. Why would anyone want to play a game in which digital women are playing volleyball in bikinis? Why would anyone need that?
You can give each other presents. You can make friends.
But that wasn't their intention in that game. That clearly wasn't their intention. Like, even Dead or Alive now, I call into case the fact that you can change the age of your player, and all it does is make the boobs floppier.
Yeah. Yes.
That's gentrification. That's the worst kind of it. You should be up in arms about that, not the fact that Lara Croft gets a machine gun, guns down 20 men, and one of them tries to rape her. He's a villain! Your villain's not going to give you a present. He's not going to say to you, if he shot her in the face, your game would be over. So then you'd be complaining in a different way. So it's just a case of he has to do horrible, horrible things. He has unbridled evil within him. And I'm not saying that those games where people are scantily clad are good. I'm saying they're awful. They're the gentrification. They're the issue. If you're a feminist, if you're truly a feminist, and you're asking for an equal opportunity in games, if you want a plot that services women, Tomb Raider is not a bad thing. It's a good plot. It's a good game. It until the end, until the last 25 minutes.
Until, like, after about 2 hours into it, when the story stops, and it's Lara Croft shooting. No, the story starts again. It's just, it involves demons. Yeah.
But no, it just, you know, like, where it frustrates me, like, the whole idea that you can change the gender of knights, it just doesn't fucking matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It's not even fun.
So why get angry, annoyed about it?
I'm getting annoyed because these are people that have been given money. I love what they've done already, and the fact that they're wasting their time changing some pronouns and changing some sprites a little bit and not creating some new fantastic
there's other stuff coming for it.
I'll give them another 20 quid now if they say to me there's going to be another 200 levels and they're going to drop the pronouns. Who gives a shit about that? Gender specifics are the problem in the first place because you're already considering these characters as male or female. You're gendification. That's gendification there. You're doing it. You're not servicing a sex, you're making it what you want it to be, and that's wrong.
It's fine.
Alright.
They can do it if they want.
Probably going to cut that.
That's a lot, man.
That was a long time, sorry.
But no, it's like, it's just something fun to do in the game. Something silly. It's okay to have silly things.
Give him silly fucking
Wait until you see Tinker Knight and think about how silly he is. Tinker Knight's amazing.
Just give him a funny fucking wig or a hat. Put him in an afro.
Put a clown mask on it.
Put afro mode on. That'd be funnier than gender-specific pronouns.
Didn't they have afro mode in something else?
What?
I can't remember. I think it was probably...
I don't know, I'm just going off fucking completely kilter.
I'm liking Shovel Knight
it's
loads.
A great game.
I've almost finished it.
It really
just getting angry about it now because
it's a fantastic
swap
game.
genders. That's it.
The game would be perfect for me if I could train.
Yeah, but it's like... You got to take the internet response that there's one thing you don't like in a game now, so you hate it. It's the worst thing ever.
Oh no, I'm saying that it's a brilliant game. It's a fantastic game. It's just I feel like
that's like it. If you don't like gender swaps, you have to hate the whole thing.
I don't hate gender swaps. It's just it seems like the worst place to put it. You can put it in any other game.
I think they're rolling in money. They can do what they like.
They're probably not rolling in money. They've made an adequate amount of money.
But they sold a lot, man. That game, even after the Kickstarter thing, it's like sold loads. It's one of the most successful games this year.
I've got
it's crazy.
Do games.
Yeah, we need to rip off someone's mobile phone game and just like chuck a million Flappy Bird clones onto the internet. I've been playing a Flappy Bird clone, haven't I? Retry. That's a Flappy Bird clone.
I haven't been playing that.
Yeah.
I've been playing that Super Hexagon again.
Oh.
I've got to stop doing that.
But anyway, Shuffle Knight, 24.
No, I give it 1 billion. I fucking love that game.
Yeah.
Just angry at the developers.
Who says $1 billion's worth a lot?
No, who says 25 is? Alright, my number 3 is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. There's not really much I could say that other people haven't said. Kevin Spacey's in it. It's a serviceable action film plot. It's about as stupid as they come. It's very po-faced and very serious.
Is it a sequel to House of Cards?
No.
Oh.
It kind of is. He's almost the same character. It's very po-faced. It's not really very campy or fun. It just takes itself very, very seriously. Multiplayer is, as you'd expect, it's pretty good this year after the fucking terrible shit show of Ghost.
Well, it's got a lot more verticality going on, hasn't it?
It does, yeah. It is essentially...
I missed that.
It's Titanfall light.
Yeah. It's Titanfall without the mechs, which is what Titanfall is now.
Yeah. So it's Titanfall without the mechs. I mean, just in general, yeah, it's a good game. If you can pick it up for less than 40 quid, I think it goes for 55 quid online on digital edition.
Jesus.
So just buy it disc-wise and then, I don't know, piss in Bill Gates' face when you get the chance. It's ridiculous, the price of digital games. But all in all, it's a good game. I'm not going to spend
I
too
don't
long
think that's Bill Gates' fault, man.
He's American, I blame him for
Yeah, but
everything.
he doesn't do anything to do with computers now.
No, you're right.
He's too busy giving his money away.
I still don't get it. I just don't understand it. But all in all, it's actually a pretty good game. It's pretty good. It's a very po-faced narrative in the main storyline, but most people don't play it anyway. Multiplayer's good. It's the same problem I have with Call of Duty every time, though. It's just I'm not very good at it.
Have they let it get silly? Because that's the thing with the Call of Duty games for me is that things are getting silly, but they keep putting it in this package to make it look like it's some sort of proper military game.
One thing that annoys me about Call of Duty now, it's not silly, by the way. One thing that annoys me about Call of Duty now, though, is you can't buy Call of Duty unless you spend 80 quid.
Yeah.
Because you get the season pass, and you have to get the season pass to get all the content. If you know you're going to make the fucking content, just give it us free. What the fuck is wrong with you cunts?
You can have bots in multiplayer on this one, can't you?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Can you?
Yeah.
No, you've just got that wave defense mode.
I'm sure you can have bots in multiplayer.
I'll
Like
have
if
to
you
look.
have to do it online.
That's
you have to do
unconfirmed.
code.
It's unconfirmed.
But yeah.
What, you mean the
you
drill
play
thing?
split screen multiplayer. If you just play 2-player split screen multiplayer, I'm sure you can have bots on it.
No, you can do something that's like combat ready,
Yeah.
in which you train and you have bots.
No, I want to have proper split screen. I'm sure it's what it is.
I just wanted to make time for this game. All in all, it's fine. It's good. With these online shooters, if you're going to buy it, you've already bought it. If you're not already bought it and you're waiting for Christmas, you're going to receive it for Christmas, regardless of what I say. All in all, the game's fine. It's just I don't understand this new process that when you buy a game, you don't buy a game, you buy part of it. You've got it almost to rent, and then you've got to buy the other part.
Yeah, and then eventually they can switch the servers off.
Yeah. Just if you can get it cheap, get it. If you can't, I wouldn't pay the £55 to get it digitally. I'd buy it in a shop. All in all, it's Call of Duty. It's the fucking same thing it's been for years.
Yeah.
They release one every year because they've already got the next one worked out.
The Xbox One version apparently is like properly smooth frame rate. It doesn't have
It's
any
really
problems
nice. It's 60. Well, not 60. I think it's.
No,
30.
it hits 60 perfectly.
Is it
yeah.
60? Wow.
Yeah, I was watching a comparison video the other day, PS4 and Xbox One. You know those guys, Digital Foundry? They always do the frame rate comparisons. PS4 version looks a little better, but the frame rate dips quite
1080p
often.
is 30 frames.
Yeah.
And Xbox is 900 and it's.
But the PS4
60.
one was like sitting 60, but it kept dropping below.
Oh, really?
But
Have you heard about Assassin's Creed Unity?
which is a mess, yeah.
Yeah, someone said 10 frames per second.
Yeah. A piece there, the console versions were dropping down to the 20s quite often, which is abysmal. Like, get it out the door. Get that game out the door. The thing is, to me, you're rushing for a Christmas release date. Yeah, sure, you can get a lot of sales, but why not if you really can't get the game finished on time? Instead of risking everyone turning on your game. Yeah. Why not delay it till the new year when everyone's done playing their Christmas games and release it in a period when there's nothing else that people are playing?
Like, I don't know why they don't release games in the January sales and then make it 40 quid and just be like that. It's 40 quid in the
Every
January
time
sales.
Grand Theft Auto releases is like March, April, and it flies out.
I fucking hate the fact that they're making me pay a full price if I want to play Grand Theft Auto 4 on the Xbox One.
Isn't it a little bit cheaper?
Not going to buy it. No, it's 40 quid.
Outrageous.
I'm not going to buy it. Just fuck them.
Go buy Lego Batman 3. It's 20 quid.
Is it?
Yeah, 20 quid on PC.
Oh, no.
25 on Xbox One.
Really?
Yeah. Sure it is. Because it's dirt cheap. That Lego Batman game is huge as well.
I'm gonna have a look.
Yeah. So, did you give a score to Advanced Warfare?
I don't even need to, because my mind isn't going to be theirs. They're going to play it and they're probably going to like it. I'm so shit at the multiplayer. I don't know if anyone else experiences
Is it better than the most recent Battlefields have been?
Well, yeah, because Battlefield 4 was a shit show.
Yeah. Battlefield 3 single player was awful. Multiplayer was alright. I used to work on those games, man.
Well, yeah, Batman 3... No, not Batman. Battlefield 3 was fine. I actually didn't mind Battlefield 3. Even the story, although it was like...
The story's terrible.
It was like you're some generic dickhead who runs... It's 40 quid on Xbox One and PS4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Blimey. It's still cheaper than most Xbox One games.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
On digital, it's probably 60 quid.
I get the PC version, man.
No. But yeah, so when it comes to the game, I mean, you know, your decisions are already made. My personal opinion of it is the multiplayer is really, really unbalanced. When you have a good game and you kill 5 people in a row, that game is going to be no different from the next game you play, but you'll be killed 17 times and only kill 2 people. For some reason, everyone has these spectacular guns that you can't get, or they can shoot you from across the thing with one shot from their machine gun and it kills you, but you shoot them 100 times with your machine gun and it doesn't kill them.
Lag's always been a problem in Call of Duty for me.
I don't really lag.
You're lagging, but you don't notice it. Call of Duty does a good job of masking that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it uses a lot of procedural animations to, like, chuck characters around and friggin' hide things. It's it's like when you play on Battlefield, everyone always goes, oh, it's nice if you get a good game of Battlefield, everyone thinks it's lag free. I've sat in a room with 16 other guys playing Battlefield over on the internet, like, and that's on a server that's in the same room as us. And yeah, the lag is ridiculous. Like yeah, you don't realise it. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on with some of them, because it'll decide whether or not someone's died or not. You know when you get 2 people shooting each other at the same time? Yeah. It's already decided which one of you's died first a lot of the time. But yeah.
So it's down 1s and 0s.
Yeah, it's all down to 1s and 0s. That was the problem with Battlefield 4. You know, they had the problem where people were crouching and getting shot. It's because when they crouch in, the frame data is basically how often per second it updates the information.
Yeah.
A game should generally be updating somewhere in the region of 30 times a second.
Okay.
For each individual frame that the game's running at. But the thing that was going on with Battlefield, 30 is fine. Even if you run it 60 frames per second, someone's not going to move so much between 2 frames that it's going to make a difference. But Battlefield 4 was only updating something like 15 frames per second, which is a bit of a problem, because that means if someone crouches, there's a fraction of a second where, as far as the game's concerned on the servers, they're still stood upright. Okay. So if the bullet's firing at upright level, they still get hit. Yeah. Because it's not updating often enough. The thing is with that, the reason for that is Battlefield 3 does a ridiculous, and all the Battlefield games do since they've had that Frostbite engine, the amount of persistence in level is ridiculous. It goes beyond, like you think about most games like Unreal, the only things it's tracking is the location of pickups, the characters running around and who they're shooting at this time and how much health they've got. But Battlefield 3's tracking all that, all the characters on the map, so up to like 128, isn't it, on
64.
64, something like that. I think it's more than that, isn't it?
No, 64.
But it's also tracking every single object in the map that can be destroyed. Yeah. So when when one piece of fence is shot away, it has to tell every single other server that's happened, every single other player that piece of fence is broken. Okay. So the amount of persistence going on is incredible.
So that's why when I hit a fence, it takes a second for it to go.
But that's why they reduced the amount of frames it was checking in Battlefield 4 per second, because it got to the point where if it was checking 30 times a second, it would be draining your computer like crazy. It would be doubling the amount of data it's having to send back and forth.
So I wonder what Hardline's going to be like then.
Yeah. Have you played the beta for that?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was pants.
Really?
Forcing vehicles into arenas that are way too small. It's all car parks and things.
See, I wouldn't mind it. I don't use vehicles.
I'm not too keen on the idea of a game that glamorises the militarisation of police as well. Especially in America. Especially now in America.
Yeah.
That's where games are going. Can I just have laser guns back, please? I want a first-person shooter that's got Unreal Tournament-style weapons. I want guns that fire in 3 directions.
I don't like laser guns.
I want ridiculous stuff back.
There's no impact.
So? It is when their heads explode.
Yeah, but that's just their head exploding. That's not the impact.
I want bodies falling to pieces.
Okay, just explode.
And I want that
song,
let the bodies hit the floor.
Jibs.
I want let the bodies hit the floor by Drowning Pool playing. Yeah, playing constantly. But anyway, are you done with that review?
Yeah.
Right, my last thing is Massive Chalice from Double Fine. I backed this on Kickstarter, so I have to say disclosure of something nowadays, because people, don't want Gamergate after you. I'm liking Massive Chalice.
We're journalists.
I don't care. We're critics, and we put something on the internet. That means we're fair game. Actually, I suppose we don't have to worry because we're not women, are we? So
we've got penises.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry. We're free from criticism.
Yeah, but if they want to criticise me, I'll give you my address, and you can come to my door and say it to my face, and I'll fight you.
Yeah, they'll dox you, man. They'll dox you or swat you.
Dox.
That's where they put your information out on the internet so everyone can tell where you live.
What are they going to tell people? I have a shit job. And
anyone, if you want to stalk this person, here's where they live.
Yeah, just like, who cares? Come and stalk me. What are you going to find out about me?
But yeah.
I wash my hands every time I take a shit just in case I've clipped my arsehole. Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, Massive Chalice. Obviously, I'm incredibly biased. yeah, I backed this and didn't really follow what was going on with it. I knew what sort of game it was going to be because their initial pitch was Fantasy XCOM.
It's going to be a game?
Yeah. That's the best promise you can get from Double Fine, that there will be a game at some point.
And it'll be real.
Yeah. But I'm liking it. Like XCOM, you have to move your troops around in pieces. They got their, it's still grid-based combat and all this sort of thing. There's no cover system, unlike XCOM. And there's a couple of balancing issues with the different classes. There's only 3 classes right now, but they're going to have hybrid classes later, which will help you expand it. Okay. There's like a Caber Knight type class, whatever he's called, which is basically a character carries a massive, great big log and smacks things in the head. They're effectively your tanks.
Okay.
You got alchemists who are sort of mid-range. Yeah, they throw grenades most of the time. Okay. But I haven't leveled them up high enough to see what their other things are because my guys keep dying and there's permadeath. So it's not helping.
So it's just like XCOM.
Yeah. And you have rangers, the hunters, who, as far as I can tell, are the most... They're balanced, but they're balanced in a way where they're better than the other characters right now because the other ones aren't quite there.
So not balanced.
Yeah. They're fine. They would be fine if the other characters were sorted out a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is the early build.
Yeah. It's on early access, but it's due to go full next year. But they gave me a beta key. I didn't pay for a beta key, but they gave everyone who paid $20 or more a beta key. So it was like,
nice.
Sweet. So I got early access to it. There's other things in there, like certain cat monsters are a bit of a pain. There's a monster type which is a long range attacking. He's like a tank.
Yeah.
He takes more than one turn to kill because every time you hit him the first time, he armours up, and everyone else can only hit him for 1 hit point each time. They come out with like 20 odd hit points. You're only doing 9 on a clean attack. Then you have a situation where this one is going to be a persistent pain for about 3 or 4 turns. And that's exasperated every time you get like 3 or 4 of them turning up at once. And your team of 5 suddenly gets wiped out.
Yeah.
Apparently, someone gave some feedback about that, and it's what I'm going to say now is that you have to be able to take them out in 1 turn in some way, or do something to stop them.
Is it like a specific weakness that they have?
No, literally, you hit them the first time, it will hurt them, and then they'll be armoured up for the rest of that turn. What I think would make it fair is if you hit them, it freezes them for their turn. So they armour up and they become like they're rooted to the ground or something.
Okay.
So they can't attack that turn. That way, if you've got a large group of them, your aim is to crowd control them rather than just endure.
We could do it strategically. You could have a shield-based system for your team. So when you hit them, they shield up for the rest of that turn. If there were 3 of them in a fight, but you'd have one character that has a spell that could shield up your team. Reduce the damage that they can do.
There's very little stuff to help your own teammates out on it right now.
Okay.
There is there's certain items you can get to give you boosts and stuff, like XCOM when you had the extra grenade packs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But there's no healer. Like there's no healer class in it. You just have healing potions. Which, to be honest, if the only purpose of healing would be to heal, then letting every character heal anyway is just fine.
Yeah.
But a healer class should be more than a healer. But if there's no like poison mechanic in the game, what's the point of having a healer to remove poison? There should be more protector class if they're going to have that sort of thing.
Yeah, but, we should come back to the shield.
Yeah. But it's all right so far. I'm really liking it. Some enemies I dread seeing, some I don't. The main gimmick of the game is the lineage system. The game's set over 300 years.
It's a commitment then.
Yeah. Not real time, obviously.
Yeah.
That would be a bit hardcore.
Yeah, that's what I'd say.
That's sort of Animal Crossing.
Freeze yourself.
That'll be Animal Crossing version of it.
Yeah.
But you basically have a map, and there's like 9 regions, and there's a sort of corruption coming in from the outsides.
Yeah.
And every now and again it'll attack a place, and you have to defend. You have to choose between 2 places that get attacked. You have to choose which one you're going to defend.
Okay.
And the one you don't defend will become a little bit corrupted. When it's corrupted 3 times, you lose that region permanently.
Okay, and what's the benefit of the regions?
You keep them going. You can have keeps in there which are ruled by 2 regents, which is members of your army that you've put in command.
Okay,
and they'll have children.
Are they able to automatically defend it as well?
No, you have to go and defend. But if they've managed to corrupt that section and they'll have to attack the keep, the enemy will, then you have to have a fight in the keep to defend them off.
Okay.
But they have children, so the idea is that you have keeps down constantly churning out new soldiers for future generations. Because they have a child, 15 years later they go into training, and that's when you get your low-level character. But the more high level your regents are, then the better the inheritance. Yeah, the kids are. Yeah, but dumpsters.
Can't say.
Yeah, but there's some really cool stuff in there. Like certain characters, if they've leveled up a bit, if they get killed, there's a chance their weapon will become a relic, and they'll have an item that will be passed down to their next generation.
That's cool.
So you can pass it to someone else in the family tree.
That's very cool.
But the thing is, what I've had trouble with, I've realised that when you start the game, you really have to build some keeps quickly. Like, you have to get a bunch of them out there, because I started concentrating on getting buffs and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I realised that there comes a point where if your characters are dying, you don't have enough troops coming in constantly, and you have to keep searching for more outside troops, which are rarely as good as your inherited troops. Mm. But it can get very tricky. Like, once you make someone a regent, or once you make someone a scholar to improve your research, they're permanently out of your army. You can't use them in battle. Which is something I'd quite like, is if the regents could actually go into battle like a king would in the olden days, and they would have some sort of commander buff maybe, and if they die, the team loses a buff. I would like that. Maybe if you could only ever use one commander at a time, and maybe only if their own region's being attacked. But I think that would be a nice way to balance out a little bit of the problem where if stuff starts going wrong, it really goes wrong.
Yeah.
Because I recorded a video the other day, and that was going fine. Mm-hmm. And from that point onwards, everything went wrong for me. And I played for the next few hours, and it all just went horribly bad, and all my guys were dying, and I was relying on all the newborns growing up to defend the towns with. I ended up with nothing but alchemists, because most of my regents, I just unwittingly made them alchemists.
Just turn the ground to snakes.
Yeah, they can't do that, though. They just throw bombs right now.
You know that the corruption that you mentioned that was seeping in, are you able to push that back?
Yeah, every time, basically that's what brings the enemies to the area. So every time you defeat them, it cleanses that area. So, but you get a balancing game. I think it'll get to the point eventually where 3 start turning up at once rather than 2. Because it does seem like they'll want to make it like XCOM, where there's inevitable badness. Because if you finished XCOM, it does not end well. Like there's an inevitable sense of dread that starts looming in that game as you go along. You get to the point where countries just start falling. No matter how well you do, you cannot balance it. And shit will go wrong.
Oh, I'm playing now. I like my characters.
XCOM's amazing, man. Such a good game. But Massive Chalice has been really good. There's, like I say, balancing issues that they're working on. I had it crash on me the first time I had to defend a keep.
That's expected, though. It's
got your typical Double Fine sense of humour. It's got, I'm pretty sure, it doesn't say it anywhere on the IMDb, on her page, but it's got the woman who does the voice of Patricia Tannis. I'm sure it's her. It sounds exactly like her from Borderlands. And, one does Lilith's voice as well.
Yeah.
The Massive Chalice, the Chalice that you talk to, is 2 people. One side of it's a male's voice, one side of it's a woman's voice. There's sometimes you get these little random sort of mini missions where it asks you something, you have to make a choice out of 3 things, and half the time one of the choices is chuck it in the chalice, whatever it is. Like there's one where there's a woman who's having a baby and the doctor thinks he can't save her without saving the baby. Like she'll have to die or the baby will have to die, and the third option was throw him in the chalice. And I'm like, I'll throw him in the chalice. And it came out of it alright. So I saved the queen and I got a baby out of it, which is nice.
That's a win.
Yeah. But it's really good. I think it's going to be something that will be well worth people getting into. If you're a fan of XCOM, there's currently not a new XCOM game out.
Of course I'm a fan of XCOM. I played the first 2 levels.
Yeah, there's a new mod out from XCOM this week, isn't there? Apparently. Yeah, it's like I think it's supposed to be like a modern day setting mod.
I'm gonna have to download XCOM for my phone or something because I haven't played enough. You can get it on your phone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the full
Enemy
game.
Unknown.
The full game.
Sweet.
On your phone. I believe it's on your phone. Let me find out how much it is.
It's a great game, that.
Cool. Do we have like a technical difficulty sign?
But no, I've got XCOM on PC. I haven't played it since I upgraded my graphics card, actually.
I have XCOM on my PC. I have XCOM, both of them.
Yeah. It's such a good... I haven't got the expansion for it.
I haven't got the Bureau.
Apparently that's alright, but not an XCOM game.
Apparently that's fucking atrocious. Who told you that was alright?
Nah, they're different people, man.
Oh yeah, just don't listen to those people because they're lying to you.
But yeah, Massive Chalice, I'm going to say, right now, I'll say it's pretty damn decent. It's going to be better in the future. So, Zeds. Lots of Zeds. That's my score.
£9.89
for XCOM.
Enemy Within.
That's the one, yeah.
Is that the first one or the second?
That's the expansion, Enemy Within.
That's the expansion, alright.
Yeah.
So Enemy Unknown isn't coming up?
No. Outrageous.
That's strange. I do have Star Command.
Hells yeah.
Okay, my number 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got the last thing, haven't you?
Got the very last thing. Last word's mine. Ha-ha!
Oh,
We've gone over an hour.
that's okay.
Alright, so my last one is Master of Darkness for the Master System. The Sega Master
Finger
System.
on the pulse.
Finger on the pulse of the people.
Yeah.
Well, I played the biggest release so far. Far Cry comes out on Tuesday. I'm going to get that on Tuesday. So I don't have anything else to preoccupy me, so I went back a little bit.
Do you know about the hidden ending on Far Cry 4?
No.
I'll tell you what to do. I won't tell you what happens, but at the start of the game there's a bit where one of the characters leaves and says he'll be back in a minute. Don't leave, just wait. Wait like 10 minutes.
Right.
Do that.
Anyway, so
Master of Darkness.
Spoilers. Master of Darkness. So Master of Darkness is a fantastic game with the Sega Master System. It's very old now. I think you may be able to get it on the Wii U or the Wii.
I think it is on the Virtual Console on Wii. Yeah.
Console. When I got this, I bought this when Toys R Us used to sell Master System games. So 18 years ago.
5 years ago.
So like
18... I bought Comic Zone on the Mega Drive when I was like fully into PlayStation 1, edging onto PlayStation 2 era.
Yeah, see, that was around the time that I must have bought this box set. But it was bought for me for a Christmas present. We didn't have a massive amount of money back at this time, if you can't guess from the story.
Oh.
So I got bought a 5-pack of games. There was Klaxon, there was Master of Darkness, there was Transport. Do you remember Transport with the Walker from Star Wars? And it illegally used the R2.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
not the R2, the that was it. And there was 2 other games. I can't remember the other 2 games. Sadly, Klaxon I beloved.
No, it's not on Virtual Console.
Master of Darkness isn't on Virtual Console. Sorry,
no, that sucks.
The front cover looks a lot like a Lords of Illusion, you know, the Mickey Mouse game. Yeah, it looks a lot like that, but with Dracula instead of the castle. So Dracula is looming over you.
Yeah.
And it is just a Castlevania clone. It's very similar. But I just forgot how fun it was. It's a really difficult game. You start off with this little knife and you can just jab people, then eventually you upgrade. You can get an axe, you can get a staff, you can get power-ups, you can throw, you get a gun. Sorry, that was a weird noise. All in all, the game itself, though, is just fantastic. I think it's 5 stages. You eventually fight Dracula. Each stage has 2 levels and then a boss.
Yeah.
I can complete this game so easily now. But back in the day, I never actually got to the end, so I was determined to complete this. And it only took me an hour. Just under an hour, in fact, to complete the game. And I loved every second of it. I still love every second of it to this day. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's good to have knockoff Castlevanias, man.
Yeah, for a Castlevania clone. I expected very little of it. And I remember, you know, when you're a kid, you remember something like I remember Alien Storm being one of the best games I ever played when I was a kid.
Yeah, got that on the Mega Drive, got it on the PC.
Fucking great game still, but it's just not as good as I remember it being. And I had low hopes for this.
I always liked that used copious amounts of the use of that classic Mega Drive sound.
Yeah.
The fart sound.
But just Master of Darkness, if you can get hold of a copy and the original Master System, it's actually a treat to play on those controls.
What sort of Castlevania is it closest to? Like in style? Is it more traditional Castlevania?
It's more traditional Castlevania. It's not Castlevania 2 because there's no night or day mechanic and there's no villages. It is just like the original Castlevania, and even like with the mechanic with the stairs, you know, sometimes you have difficulty going up
the diagonal stairs, yeah.
It's got those in there. And it's got the hidden walls.
I always wanted that. Right, when you know you go up and down stairs, I just wanted the ability to jump off the stairs sometimes.
I want to be able to jump on the stairs?
Yeah.
So you can get halfway up.
You can do that on some of the later ones. Yeah.
But it's great. It's not quite as good as Super Castlevania because that for me is the zenith of Castlevania games.
Symphony of the Night, Rondo of Blood, either one of those 2.
Both those games are great, but they overcomplicate something that doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Like I understand that they deliver a more RPG style experience.
Well, Rondo of Blood's more sort of traditional Castlevania taken to the furthest point they can.
Yeah.
Because it still splits in paths and stuff like that. Everything's level by level.
Okay.
But Symphony of the Night is the RPG Metroidvania, as people call it. One.
But Super of Castlevania for me was the best.
Yeah, damn good game. Use of Mode 7 in that game's crazy.
I would actually say that for me with Castlevanias it does go Super Castlevania and then Master of Darkness and then Castlevania 1, the original.
Yeah. And
then Castlevania 2 and then Castlevania 3, which is the fucking worst piece of shit I've ever played in my life.
Castlevania 3, everyone hates that one.
But in terms of the actual game, like I loved it. I still love it. Colours are great. There's a little bit of a plot, which is nice. And also there's a great thing, like the first boss you fight is just this woman. She's like, the first boss you fight is Jack the Ripper.
Oh yeah.
And you kill Jack the Ripper, and you can do it really easily, because if he's on a ledge and you're not on the ledge, he hits above your head. So you can just like hammer away with the axe. There's a secret. The axe is in the first level. And as soon as you get that, it's the most overpowered weapon in the game. It's just one hit on everything.
Nice.
So you give up. I still remember all the secrets. That's how sad I am. But after you kill Jack the Ripper on the first level, like at the end, it goes, you killed my waxwork of Jack the Ripper. I was like, oh, you bastards. You've got to come to my wax museum. And then you go to the wax museum, and it's a princess that was saying that to you. And you kill the princess, and her boss fight, she like can project a skull out of her. And the skull moves around, and you have to hit the skull. And that's great. And I thought it was brilliant. And then at the end of her boss, she's like, oh, you defeated the woman who runs the wax. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those fucking days.
Your princess is another castle.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. But I love
all this run around. It's such a fucking hassle. I go through all this shit in another fucking castle.
But But I loved it. I genuinely love it now to this day. And it's nice to, they say you can never go home. For a little while, I went home.
You can go home,
not right the second we recorded the podcast.
Oh,
But
true.
You know what I mean? Like, you can never go back to that place that you remember home being.
Yeah.
And for a little while, I genuinely did.
I don't know. I occasionally dig out Biker Mice from Mars on the SNES.
And then when I fucking stab your own eyes out with a nickname.
That game's amazing.
It's fucking atrocious.
It's brilliant. It's rock and roll racing. It's literally rock and roll racing with Snickers bars.
Oh, so it's very distinct.
Yeah. I've got rock and roll racing as well. You want to play that?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I really like the game, and it was like a time machine.
It's fantastic. I want to play that now.
It's really good. Do you want to play it? We'll download it on an emulator. I own a copy, so I can legally do it.
Jesus.
But yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
That's it from me.
Yeah, what score are you going to give Thingy?
All the points.
All the points.
All the
right.
points.
That's to represent that with lots of numbers.
If
I'm getting a bit flashy with my numbers now on there.
Yeah, you are.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm
assuming that people are seeing them with glitter.
No one's going to look at the videos now with the numbers. No one sees the work I went into with splashing numbers all over the page on the videos.
Fancy work you do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Master of Darkness, if it was a woman, it would be your dream woman. It's just fantastic. I say your dream woman because my dream woman is my girlfriend, and if I say anything else, she'll stab me in my sleep.
Yeah, but normally Anna Kendrick or
Aubrey Plaza.
Hell's yeah.
Elizabeth Banks.
Nah.
Really?
Catching Fire, man. Look what she looks like in those films. And what about in what's that film, Man on the Ledge, where she tries acting? Ugh.
Sam Worthington was the most distracting thing in that.
His accent was the most distracting thing.
I'm not going. Oh, you know what my favorite bad accent moment is, and it's from an American, Harrison Ford. I don't kill my wife.
I don't care.
Disappointed.
Oh, now I remembered I met Kevin Sorbo once.
If you ever see him again, can you fucking tell him that he's a prick for doing that?
I'll see him and I'll be like, I met you once before.
God's not dead.
Yeah. Anyway.
He may not be dead, but he'll desecrate their fucking graves, it cunts.
Great. That's episode 4 of Critapocalypse done.
Woo!
We've kept it under an hour and a half. That was the plan.
We did?
Yeah. 1 hour, 12 minutes.
That's not bad.
Ish.
See, if someone's got an hour and 12 minutes to spare, they could do it in a worse way, couldn't they?
Yeah, we probably should mention that at the start.
Yeah, you don't go murder a baby, spend an hour and a half listening to this.
Murder a toddler, because they know then.
They know what?
They know what's going on.
This fucking goes dark. We'll probably cut this. Bye!
Yeah.